Welcome back to another episode of The Stupidest Podcast with your hosts, Justin Rademacher and the other host. I'm not going to say co-host. I'm going to say host. The other host.
You almost said co-host.
I was going to say it, but then I decided against it. You've been nice to me, so I was going to be nice to you. So
Yeah.
I was going to not be, but then I decided.
Had to bring it back a little bit.
Yeah, had to bring it back.
What's up, guys?
Who's the other guy?
Justin Vandeventer. What's going on, guys?
How is it going?
Oh, missed you guys. Today is a very special episode.
Yeah, this is our anniversary episode. We have now been doing the podcast for officially over 2 years.
That's crazy.
That is.
That was a fast 2 years.
It was. And I mean, we've changed quite a bit now that, like, I was just kind of reflecting back, and we've done quite a bit of changes. Like, from the very first episode, like, we had a completely different style back then than we do now. We have guests now every other episode. We've done a lot of changing over the 2 years we've been doing this.
Just think of the equipment that we've already gotten, too.
Yeah, we've basically doubled our equipment now because we had to.
Right. Things are going good.
Going really good, actually. So
the one thing that we haven't done since we've started,
that
we haven't touched the website.
Yeah, that is something that we need to get updated for sure. That's that should be on our bucket list real quick.
Yeah. We haven't touched one thing on that thing yet since that day.
We need to do an update. Like, we need to get better pictures. We need to update our about us too. Like, we need to get everything. It needs a rehaul.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah. But we're the stupidest podcast, so we're just going to do it as we can.
Right? So many new things, though.
Yeah, lots of new things, especially, like, do you want to tell them about the newest news?
We got the Patreon going.
Yeah, we got the Patreon is officially live, so if you guys are interested in the Patreon, we're going to have some extra stuff for you because it is $5 per month. And so we figured if you're going to pay us $5 a month, we might as well give you some good content for it.
Yeah, we're going to give you some perks. We're going to give you a couple extra episodes. We're going to put the deep dive on there. That'll be no longer a free episode.
I think that's a good call because that way I've had people interested. We're going to keep the ones that are out there. Those are going to still stay out there.
Yeah.
So we're still going to keep those available for you. So if you are interested and like them, you still get to listen to those ones. But if you want to listen to the new ones, you just got to get on the Patreon.
Right. And then we're starting to look into merch. We haven't got there yet, but we're getting close.
We did a lot of research, actually just today even. We did quite a bit of stuff today, so I'm excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, me too. Big things in our future.
Yeah.
Steps in the right direction.
We are doing a lot in the future, but we're actually we're gonna bring it back to the past for this episode.
Ooh, nice segue. I like it.
Yeah, we're actually gonna be doing the very first episode, or the first episodes I should say, we only did questions. We didn't have any segments, and so we're actually going back to that for this episode. This episode, we are only going to be doing questions. We each brought in 10 questions. Some of them I think are similar to questions we've asked in the past, but I think that's appropriate. We can see kind of what our questions, if they were similar, like what has changed. So if you recognize anything, just know that we might have changed. So we're going to ask any of those questions. And then we're going to tell stories that we haven't told before, and we're going to basically have an old episode, but revamped to what's going on today.
You know what we should do for 100th episode?
What?
The first episode.
Oh, do the exact same thing as the first episode?
Yeah. The exact same questions and everything.
I like that idea. That'd be fun.
So. All right.
That
Well,
would be really fun because then we'll go back and we'll literally re-answer everything that we answered at the beginning and see where we're at that point.
yeah, it'd be interesting to hear episode 1 and then episode 100 and see how different we sound. For one, how nice quality is compared to the first time, and how our answers have changed.
Exactly. I think that'd be perfect.
So before we get into this, what's new, man?
Not a whole lot. I mean, I've just been working. Haven't played disc golf since we talked last. I've done some stand up again. Keep doing that, obviously. The weather just won't allow me to play disc golf. That's the only reason I haven't played. It's just won't stop snowing.
Good. Record year.
No, but once that's done, I'm excited. Got a planned trip coming up for disc golf, so hopefully we're able to actually play. We'll see how that goes, but excited for that. It's just a little trip out to Peoria, Illinois, but it should be fun.
Nice. Do you know what courses you're going to go play?
I don't, but Josh has an idea. He's got like a couple in mind that he wants to do. Otherwise, we're just going to kind of, as we get there, figure out what we want to do.
You don't have like one main one that you really want to go to?
Peoria we do, yes. So that's the reason why we're going there, along with, we're going to see Eddie. He lives by Peoria, so we're going to see our buddy Eddie and hang out with him. We've actually talked about Eddie. I really want to have him on the podcast. I know, I've talked to you a little bit about that. But I would love to talk to him about philosophy. That's what I really want to get.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we're going to see him. We're also going to see our buddy Josh Weber in Iowa before we see Eddie. We're going to stop there first.
Nice.
So getting really excited for that. I'm going to go to a Timberwolves game on Friday. I'm excited for that.
Nice.
That should be fun.
Where you going?
It's going to be me, Josh, Shan, Matt, Candace, and Ryan.
Nice. That'd be a fun group.
Yeah, it should be a fun time. So we're going to do that on Friday. And then, I did go to a really fun event on Friday. This last week, we went to Singing with the Stars in Duluth. And it was a really fancy place. We got a chance to listen to a lot of really good singers. Danny actually got us the tickets for this. So there's a bunch of comedians that ended up going to this thing. And it was really cool. They ended up having hors d'oeuvres and champagne and all that. And basically you just had to donate and give money to the cause for the theater. So it was just raising funds for the theater. And we ended up raising, I think the total was over $50,000.
Wow.
For the community.
Nice.
It was a very, very good turnout. So much fun. Thanks, Danny. If you're listening to this, thank you very much. It was a blast. Without her getting those tickets, I don't think I would have been able to go. So.
Sounds fancy. Did you fit in?
I felt like I fit in enough. I just wore what I wear at the casino.
Nice.
I felt like I fit in looks wise, but I didn't feel like I fit in just because like that's not my style usually.
Did you drink your drink with your pinky up?
Did for a second. Yeah, just feel fancy.
Yep. Look around like anybody else.
Yep, exactly.
Nice.
But other than that, I guess not a whole lot other than that, which is actually quite a bit. And then obviously working on the podcast, we've been doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Looking at different things we can do with the podcast. So
I was busting tail on that Patreon.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe I uploaded all those episodes because I had to transfer our whole library over to there. That was a lot of work.
That is a lot of work. Thank you for doing that, by the way.
So, I could definitely add to it because I didn't put any descriptions or anything like that into it. I just, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't put any description in. But I did put the clip art and all that, the thumbnails.
Well, maybe if you worked on that, I can work on the website.
Perfect.
I just need pictures of us, and we don't have a lot of those. So we need to have a photo day.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We need to go get some headshots done.
Exactly. With both of us, not just me, like,
Mm-hmm.
or just you. Like, we need
Both.
together. And we definitely have people that we can go to.
Yep.
I have a couple of ideas that we can do, so I think it's going to be fun.
Sweet.
What have you been up to?
Work, more work, man. Plowing snow.
With that snow, man.
Dude, it seems like it's just nonstop lately. And it sucks all of a sudden now, it's not just snowing, it's snowing a lot. Like before it was just 1 or 2 inches a week here and there, Now it's 14 inches, 16 inches, 5 inches, 8 inches. It's not just snowing, it's snowing a lot. So, and then bowling's still going really good.
Good.
I just had my highest set of the year.
Oh yeah, was that the one that you texted me?
Yeah, 772. Missed my 800.
That's a very good set.
Yeah, I ran 18 in a row.
Wow, that's not bad. For those of you that are listening, that is 6 turkeys. Or no, that's how many is it?
6 turkeys.
Yeah, it is 6 turkeys. I did the math right. I forgot that I was on the stupidest podcast. I wasn't supposed to get it right.
Pretty hard to run 18 in a row and not have a 300, though.
It does suck. Yeah, you should have had a 300. You just got to move those strikes around.
All right. I was still running all the side games and all that, so I wasn't really focused on my first shot, because I run, the high games and the eliminator and the brackets and all that. I run all that. So I wasn't really focused on my first shot, and I got a little slow and boom, through a 6 count and then off the sheet.
That sucks, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Like I told everybody up there, they were like, man, you didn't get your 8. I'm like, it's hard to be upset about a 770, man. I can't be upset about 770.
Well, dang.
So, it was a good night. So...
I was really hoping for that 800 text, but
I was trying, man. I was trying real hard.
All you can do. All you can do.
I think I pocket shot 710 split.
Oh,
they kind of threw, and then after that, I was
ruins.
like, that ruined the 800 in the last game. I was like, all right.
Yeah, that ruins a lot. That 710 split is so hard. I've never even seen it done. I've seen it done on videos, but I've never seen it done live.
Seen it done live twice.
Yeah.
Never by me. It's the only spare that I have not picked up.
I've not picked that one up myself.
Every other spare.
I feel like I've picked up basically every other spare.
I've come close a couple of times. I've gotten it to kick off the wall and hit it and wiggle it, but I've never knocked it over.
I miss bowling. I haven't bowled in so long. Last time I did bowl, I was playing the Garys in our fantasy football league.
Oh, yeah?
My grandpa and my uncle.
Yep.
And I beat them, and they're in league. So, I mean, I still got it a little bit. I mean, what was that, last year? So I still had it.
Right. It's been a few years since you bowled league.
It is, yeah. It's been over 3 years probably.
We got to get you back.
No. I mean, I would do it as a sub.
Right.
You guys need a sub.
Right. Get you back just so we can get you an established average. Then we can get you out to nationals with us.
Yeah, there we go. How many do I need to do for that?
21.
Ooh, that's a lot.
21 games.
Oh, 21 games. That's only 7 weeks. That's not bad. I could do that. What night? I'm assuming it'd be Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
I could maybe make that work. I could miss 7 stand up.
Or I mean, Dad bowls enough. There's Monday night, Tuesday night. Dad bowls every night of the week, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess I could sub for because it doesn't have to be in the same league, does it?
Yeah.
Does?
Yeah, because you got to get that established average.
Oh, okay.
So
figure something out. We can maybe do that next winter.
Right. Then
what time brings.
Nationals in Vegas next year.
That'd be so fun.
Right. So, you ready to get into this?
Let's get into it.
All right. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Well, I don't know exactly what my life is going to look like. But the thing that I envision doing is I want to continue doing comedy. I want to keep playing disc golf, and I want to keep doing the podcast. Those are the three things that I can definitely see myself still doing in 10 years. I obviously love bowling. I would love to get in bowling again. But with these three, it takes up a lot of time. So it is nice having these three for sure. But yeah, I would love to see myself continue doing that. I love golf too, ball golf. So that'd be fun to keep doing that. Yeah, I don't know exactly where I see myself career wise. I hope that I'm able to do comedy and the podcast and disc golf and make one of those work and make a living doing that stuff. Within 10 years, that would be ideal. But otherwise, I'm not really focused on anything besides those three anyways. So, like I obviously do my job and I feel like I do a good job at my job. But this is my passion. Those are my three things that I'm really wanting to continue and pursue and get better at.
Nice.
You?
10 years from now, I would be 45 years old. Hopefully I'm married.
I take that or leave it.
Yeah, I mean, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But hopefully,
Ideally, if I found the right person, I would definitely be ecstatic about it. But as of right now, like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. We're still going to be doing the podcast. That's not even going to be a fucking option. I won't. So, still be doing the podcast, comedy, hopefully growing still. To be honest, I would love that to just be it. Hopefully by that time, that is what we're doing. Podcasting and comedy, and that's the only job we have. If not,
I'm gonna be on the circuit for disc golf. That's why I included disc golf.
You're gonna be one of the oldest players.
I don't care. I'll do it.
Gracie will be entering college.
Ooh. You're gonna have to watch out for the college boys.
Or
girls.
Or it'll be her senior year. Yeah, she'll be a senior. Never mind. She'll be a senior.
Okay. Well,
So she'll be looking at colleges.
Yeah, she'll be looking at college and figuring that stuff out.
So, be busy with that. God, hopefully it just living a good life.
I just want to be happy.
Yeah, me too. Stress free.
Yep.
Or minimal, at least.
I agree with that. That would be nice.
Less than what it is right now.
Mm.
Would be nice. Or I'm going to die at a young age.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's where I think I'll be in 10 years.
Sweet. So, do you think, this is kind of leading into my next, that leads into my question. Do you think this will be the only podcast you ever do?
No, I don't think so. No, I'm always looking to do another one.
What if you did another one right now? What would you do?
I really want to do this one that I keep talking to people about, but I got to find the right co-host, and I just can't seem to find the right one. It's called What Women Want, and it doesn't even have to deal with what women want. It's just, that's the name I kind of am leaning on. I want to talk to women about relationships and what they're looking for in a guy and stuff like that. But then I also want to talk to like OnlyFans girls and how they got into it and what their family thinks about it, and do they have kids, and does it bother them? Has it affected their kids' schooling? Because I've heard a lot of things on the internet of kids getting kicked out of school because their parents do OnlyFans. And how has that job also changed your dating life? I want to talk to them about that stuff. Like, how has that affected you? And do you regret?
Basically, a podcast that is about the different dynamics of different relationships and how that impacts their livelihood, how that impacts their lifestyle, how that impacts basically just them in general.
Yeah. And then, even like, oh, shoot, hit the mic. Sorry.
You're good.
I talk to single moms on what life is like with that and what their struggles are and stuff like that. And then strippers, talk to them and how they got into it. And then maybe even talk to a couple of guys about single dads and stuff like that and what they're looking for in a girl, or guys that are going through sobriety and how hard it is for them with that and life changes. Pretty much anything that has something to do with a big life change.
So maybe, I don't want to this is your thing, but you can maybe work on the name of it.
Yeah.
And have it something to do with relationships. Cause I feel like everything that you've been saying has some sort of tie to a relationship, and how, obviously, you're also talking about different, lifestyles and different, a lot of different things, but I feel like it boils down to a relationship and how that is affecting.
Yeah, everything. I definitely would have to change the name.
Yeah.
So
not a bad first attempt at a name though. I like the fact that you're thinking about it and trying to figure out the best avenue to take and what you want to talk about, and that's what we did with this podcast. We just decided that this is what we wanted to do, and so we went with this. And we keep changing it slowly but surely, and I feel like you could do the same with that.
Right. And maybe, even with I feel like it'd be good to have a girl co-host, because I think it'd be easier for the women to open up if there's another woman.
Well, I think it's just a good dynamic. You'd
that
be
too.
able to have, you guys could have, obviously you're going to have different point of views, so it's going to be nice to have
both sides,
your point of view and then her point of view, and what you guys think. It's almost like when we talk to the Christian and the atheist, they look at both sides of it and how that affects either of them, and they get good content from it.
Right.
You have very good stories and very good conversation that comes from opposite ends.
Right.
And coming together and collaborating and doing all that.
I don't know. I just think it would be a good podcast. I think there'd be plenty of people interested.
I think that's a really solid idea.
Thanks, man. So what about you?
I would start the smartest podcast.
Gonna have to look for a better.
No, I'm just joking. No, I don't think this is going to be the only podcast I ever do. I would like to do other podcasts. I do think this one, like we said earlier, this one's always going to be around.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would want to do a spin-off of this one or if I would want to do a completely separate one like you're thinking. I don't know exactly what I would want to do. I haven't really had the urge or need to get into a second podcast right now. But I mean, if that ever came about, I know Josh and I have mentioned a few things about maybe doing a disc golf podcast. We think that'd be fun.
Nice.
We've talked about doing a podcast where we just talk about sports, and it wouldn't necessarily be all the sports you would always think of. We would also include disc golf. We would include all the sports that people don't really necessarily think about all the time. And we just think that'd be a lot of fun too. So
nice.
But we've never taken a step to actually do it. We just thought it'd be fun to mess around with. But yeah, I've definitely thought about potentially doing one, but I've never had one where I'm like, with like this, like with the stupidest podcast, where I was like, okay, this is now happening. Like this is what we're doing.
Right.
So once I have that idea, then I'll definitely want to do a second one.
This will always be my main love.
I just love this one because we can literally talk about anything.
Yeah.
Everything is fair game. Obviously there's topics that we don't talk about a lot, but we still talk about them.
Right. Yeah, that's what I love. This podcast covers everything, and that's what I love about it. And it's therapy.
Yeah, sometimes we get emotional. Sometimes we talk about some pretty deep stuff. And then other times we're just messing around talking about who knows what, you know.
Some of it's the stupidest shit.
Exactly. That's part of the reason why we named it The Stupidest Podcast.
Right? So, yeah. And I think it was one of our first or second episodes where I was like, we want to hit all areas where we, you know, you have a good time, you have a sad time, you love it, you hate it, you cry, you laugh, you joke, you smile, you cry. You know, we wanted to hit every freaking, and I think we've done that.
I think we've done a very good job of that. Like we've definitely had those times where we've even had like those times where it kind of gets a little awkward, but like we get through it and we end up having a good time and either having a good laugh or whatever, you know, we have had a little bit of everything.
Yeah. And you know, it's some of those darker moments where we get done and we look at each other and we're like, that was a great episode.
We're like, damn.
I needed to get that off my chest.
Talk about that because and that some of those moments come out of nowhere. Like we have a question that has nothing to do with it, but then all of a sudden the topic, like we obviously veer off quite a bit, and sometimes the topic just veers off, and we're like, oh,
how'd we get here?
Yeah, we just talked about that, but holy shit, yeah, we did it.
Yep. Yeah, that's what I love about this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. And then we get to do stuff like this. Like we're going back to our original, like how we originally started, just asking questions. We don't have segments. And I feel like we're planning on doing episodes like this in the future. Obviously we're going to be putting like some of the weird ones on Patreon. So that way people get a unique feel and they get their money's worth for signing up.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to put some more of the riskier topics I think we're going to put on the Patreon. So
yeah, we're going to do some themed episodes that are a little more risque. We're maybe going to have like a sex theme or something like that.
Right.
And then we're also going to have episodes where we don't have a theme and we're just going to do random questions like we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to maybe do some random crazy game show episodes, you know? Like we got some ideas that we might be having, and obviously we'll talk about them throughout, like on Facebook and all the social media sites, and we'll have it on our website once we get our website updated, and all that stuff. So
you know, one of my favorite things about it doesn't happen as often in our new style, but back in the old days, in our original episodes, we always came in with kind of a plan. It wasn't a set in stone plan and it wasn't a real directed thing, but we veered off so damn far sometimes where, like you said, we were like, wow, we really talked about that. Those are some of my favorite episodes.
For sure.
Like, we weren't even planning on talking about or going that dark or going here or going there. And I'm like, but it was really good. And we must have really needed to talk about that stuff because we got there.
Yeah, like you said, it's therapeutic. Like it gets to a point where you're just spouting out, and all of a sudden you're just like, I was not gonna say that on the podcast, but I guess it's out there now.
Right. And I feel, and you know, when it is out there, I'm like, it feels good to get that off. Feels good.
Exactly.
To talk
so
that
then you're just the weight is off, and obviously there's going to be people that hear it, but then like I don't know, I sometimes get nervous. I'm like, oh, is this person going to hear me say this? And then I think about it and I'm like, who cares?
Yeah, I didn't say anything bad. We never say anything bad.
We never say anything like that we're going to regret. Like,
right.
It's something that it's a topic of conversation with somebody maybe in the future.
Right.
So.
All right. If you could design a studio for this podcast, what would you want it to look like?
I would definitely want to have our logo, so that way our logo is just kind of appearing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that be on, I imagine it being on like a TV, but we also are able to connect our laptop to the TV just in case we need to put anything up on the screen for anything, for any reason. I think that'd be really cool. And then when we're not using it, obviously it's just our logo. I envision big, comfy recliner chairs that we're just sitting on. We each have our own chair, which is going to be really nice. I just envision either a desk or a table that goes right over like as I'm laying down. Cause I'll be reclined. I'm not going to be sitting. Most likely I might have to sit, but, a nice table that I can put my laptop on and I can either Zoom you like we're doing right now, or obviously we're there in person. If we are there in person, I envision us having like a fire pit or a fireplace like between us or in front of us. Whether people see it or not, I don't really care. I just want a nice fire pit or a nice fireplace because I think that'd be really cool. And ideally, now I don't know how logical or if this is ever going to work, but I would love a hot tub and or sauna option.
Nice.
So if that's a thing, I mean, hopefully it's probably not in our super near future, but maybe in the future.
All right. I like it. We have a lot of the similar things.
Well, we've talked about it before, and
I've
just ever since we've talked about it, I really like those ideas.
Right. If we can't get the fireplace, then I would go with a couch. But
we would share a couch, or we each get our own couch.
I think we'd share a couch because I just don't think we have the room for two couches. But I actually like the chair ideas. I think I'm gonna go with two.
I like both ideas.
Right.
I just like the idea of a recliner because hopefully we'd just be able to recline back and have the mic come right up.
Ideally, I would like two of the exact same matching recliners with a nice fireplace in the center, a TV right above the fireplace, like almost on like the mantle, and then I would like a nice brick wall or brick looking wall.
I guess I wasn't even thinking of what the wall would look like. I like that, where it's almost like a fireplace, not like a fire. Yeah, like where it's like a built in the house fireplace.
Yep. Yeah. And then the TV up there it would have our logo until we needed to show something or anything like that would connect to the laptop. And then I like our mics, but I would love to get some Shure mics.
The really nice, expensive ones.
Yeah. And then,
that would be nice.
And then, I don't know. I think that'd be about it. Maybe a couple of funny pictures on both sides of the TV.
I like that. Doesn't necessarily have to be us, but it would be funny if it was just us making faces or something.
Right. Or even like, the Robin Williams picture that we were looking at.
Yeah, yep.
Back in the day. That would be kind of cool to have that up there.
Something like that, and then maybe a different one on the other side of another comedian.
Yeah. And then just change them out every once in a while.
I like that.
So that'd be cool. And then of course, in the background, I don't know if we'd have it in the TV or on screen, but off to the side maybe the loon clock.
Would have to have the loon clock. That's been a staple for us. We haven't talked about it in a while, but people have definitely heard it. If you haven't been listening.
Right.
I've been hearing it. I just haven't said anything about it. It's been a while since we've said anything.
Right. You kind of get used to it. You get used to it after a while.
Yeah, and I feel like we should actually have it in the shot. Like, I think like, maybe we have like 4 things. Maybe we have 3 pictures of comedians and then the loon clock.
Maybe,
or the loon clock, and then something else on the other side, and then two comedians.
maybe we just have the fireplace, the mantle, the TV, and then just under the TV, the loon clock.
There you go. Yeah, 'cause we can have like a decent size, like something in between us.
Right. So.
That'd be cool.
I would probably go with a brown leather chair.
I maybe like leather. I was thinking something like this fabric, like of my couch down here in the music room, where it's just a cloth, but I would envision a softer material where you just like melt into the couch or into the
something. I want something big and soft, something that I sink into.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. I guess it doesn't really matter if it's leather or not, but I would prefer, just because in the hot summer days, I don't know if I would want to.
Right.
I'd get stuck.
And if I'm going to wear my Speedo,
Exactly. Yeah, you're going to be glued to that chair.
Yeah, I don't want to stick.
Exactly.
So. All right.
Okay. My question is, what would be a good spin-off podcast from the Stupidest Podcast?
Well, I think we already have it.
We do have one, the Deep Dive.
Right.
But if we had another one, I guess, what would you...
Another spin-off from this. I would like the Green Room.
You've mentioned that before. I can't remember exactly what that was.
Where after we do a comedy show, we get the comedians that were in the show, and all of us sit around and we just talk about the show and break it down.
I forgot you called that the Green Room one. I knew exactly what you were talking about. That makes 100% sense. I don't know why I was so confused. But no, I think that'd be a perfect spin-off, because then we can just it'd be a spin-off to one of our guest episodes.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a spin-off of just you and me. So that's why I was thinking of just you and me. That's probably where the confusion came in.
Okay.
But I host the Stupidest Podcast, so I don't know.
So yeah, I think that would be my idea of a spin-off for here. What about you?
We've definitely talked about it. My spin-off, it would be a dog version of our show.
Dog version
of our show, and it would be called the Stupidest Pupcast.
Okay, keep talking.
That's it. I don't have any other ideas. I thought it was funny.
It fits with the Stupidest.
It was a joke. It wasn't an actual answer. It was a really dumb joke. It was the stupidest pup joke.
I like it. I don't think you get much listeners, though.
Maybe. I mean, you'd probably get a lot of dogs that listen.
Right.
Just have the podcast basically be two dogs howling, and then also have like squeaking sounds, and just make a bunch of noises that maybe like a car driving by. Just do a bunch of sounds that dogs really enjoy. And then everybody around the world that has a dog is going to play your podcast while they're away. They're just going to play it in their house for their dog. So you're probably not going to get a lot of advertising money, but you'd at least have listeners.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of advertisers out there for it, man. There's plenty of dog companies.
They might try to do that, but look, again, the owners probably aren't going to be listening a whole lot, because they're just going to be playing this in the background all day. So it's just on a loop. So it's going to be like an 8 to 9 hour podcast of just random noises
for the dogs while they're gone.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be a really long podcast.
I kind of like it. It's not a bad idea. Start every show with like a dog whistle.
Exactly.
End it with a dog whistle. I'd be so pissed if Percy gets more freaking listenings than our podcast, though. Yeah,
that'd be. I would say, and I'm sure they like. I'm sure it would be a hit. You know.
I might. I can see some comments coming. Hey, we need to get that going because my dogs would love this.
And once we do merch for our podcast, I'm actually gonna like if we have the opportunity to do like merch for pets, that's what I'm going to put on it. It's going to be the stupidest pupcast.
The pupcast. Dude, those shirts would look sweet too.
Exactly. And I think merch, another merch idea is if we have like hats and stuff, instead of calling it the stupidest podcast on there, we could just call it the stupidest hat or the stupidest shirt, you know?
I like it.
Yeah, we have lots of opportunity for merch, so we got to get into this.
Right? We're trying.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Where's the one place you feel completely safe and at peace?
I only wrote down 2 answers, but I think I have a third answer. The first place is my bed. My bed is my happy place. Like I am always in a good mood in my bed. I'm super relaxed. I feel safe. I feel comfortable. I'm at peace. It's amazing. I love it. The second place is at the cabin, at Matt's cabin. I always feel safe. I always feel at peace. It's just so nice. It's so comfortable. It's relaxing. It's amazing. I love it. And then my third answer that I'm adding right now is this podcast. I feel super safe whenever I'm recording. I'm always at peace. It's super relaxing and it's very open. Like we can talk about anything. I don't feel judged. I don't feel anything like that. And I love the fact that we're able to talk to anybody. We can talk about anything. And it's just a nice, safe space for me and everybody that we've had on so far.
We judge you. We definitely judge you.
I don't care. Judge me all you want.
I'm just kidding.
This podcast has definitely helped me figure out that sometimes I don't care what people really think, and that I've always wanted to be at this place in my life where I just don't care, and this podcast has definitely helped me get to that place.
This isn't one of our questions. Do you think this podcast has changed you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, same.
And for the better. Like I have definitely felt better doing this podcast. Like it gets me out of funks. It it helps me mentally, like mental health wise. This has definitely helped. Sometimes you get down, you know, but then like you talk about it and then you're better.
I remember a couple of times we've done this podcast where you go, I just don't feel like doing it tonight. And I'm like, we don't have it. Like it's come down to where we didn't have a choice. Or we weren't going to
had to do it.
Yeah, we had to do it because we weren't going to get an episode. I would never force you to, but there's been a couple of times where I have had to, and I go, we don't have a choice. We got to get it in. And
I was,
you were in the
so
dumps.
Much better for doing it.
You were in the dumps that day, and then at the end, you're like, I'm so glad we did this. This helped a lot.
Like, yeah. And I'm sure you've had those days too.
Oh, absolutely.
I just don't want to do the podcast, and then we do it, and you're like, why did I not want to do this?
Yep. Yeah. It's relieved so much anxiety a few times and depression. Like I've left here happier. Like, oh, I needed that bad. So,
yeah. And if anybody listening here has felt like you needed something like that and you've thought about maybe starting a podcast, I would definitely recommend doing a podcast, even if you don't feel like you're ready. I would obviously think of an idea, think of something that you want to do for a podcast before just jumping in completely unprepared. But if you feel like you have something to work with, I would do it. You know, it just feels so much better, especially if you find a really good partner. I'm still looking for that, but once I find it,
I was like, oh, and then I was like, oh.
No, we have a very good partnership, and I'm so glad we decided to do this 2 years ago. And it, like you said, it's so crazy that 2 years has already gone by.
Yeah.
Like, it's nuts.
Yeah, it flew by.
No, I can't imagine doing this with without you, man. Like,
Yeah,
I
me
love
either.
you, and this has just been such a good journey so far, and I can't wait to see where the journey brings us.
Right. I love you too, man. I mean, there's nobody, like I said, I said it in the video. There's nobody else I'd rather do this with. So, yeah, this past 2 years has been great, man.
You're one place that you feel completely safe and at peace.
I've got a couple as well. One is up at the farm in Park Rapids. You know, when I'm up there, just all reality kind of leaves and I'm just relaxing. Another is, it used to be when I used to take the Harley out, you know, and go ride.
Nice.
But I haven't done that for a while, and I need to. I mean, and the other one is here. That was definitely, you know, I wasn't going to put that one in here, but that's definitely, no matter what's on my mind that day, when I come on here, it's all gone, and I just...
Yeah, life just vanishes for the few hours that we're doing the podcast, and then, yeah.
I was just hanging out with my buddy. So, yeah. And then being on the lake. Anytime I'm on a lake.
That is pretty nice. A lake or a river or
yeah,
being on the cruise ship. When I've only been on one cruise ship, but that was so relaxing and peaceful.
Dude, when we floated down the river that time, that was
that was amazing. And then having that eagle almost kill us.
Just dude, I thought that was majestic as hell. That thing followed us down the river. It probably wanted to eat us, but I thought it was cool as hell.
It was really cool. I actually didn't feel threatened at all.
No,
I just thought I just had to throw that twist in there just because I thought it'd be funny.
He flew so close to us all the time.
He was following us. Yeah, he was following us.
He followed us down the whole river, but then when he'd get ahead of us like 20, 30 feet, and then as soon as we went by, he'd watch us, and then he'd fly. But when he flew, dude, it felt like if we stood up on our freaking tubes, we could have reached out and touched him.
For sure.
That was what was really cool, was like, wow. And he was huge. You don't realize how big they are with them, that wingspan, until, like, at that moment when he was flying over us, I was like, wow, that's a 8, 9 foot freaking, yeah, that's a big bird. That wingspan.
That's where they
huge.
got the name for Sesame Street.
So,
I have one more actually. At my grandma's house, whenever she's having a fire in her fireplace, like she's got one of the fireplaces we're talking about having for the podcast. Maybe we'll just do the podcast at my grandma's.
There we go.
We'll just have her living room be our studio.
There we go.
But that's a very safe place for me. Anytime I'm just sitting there just watching TV or YouTube clips or a movie or anything, I feel super comfortable, super safe.
Nice.
And anytime I'm at my grandma's, you're always, no matter what time of year, you're always in the middle of winter.
Really?
She lives on 2 streets that are named Winter.
Oh. Nice. Nice.
All right. What is the stupidest thing that you ever did as a kid?
There's so many.
No, I narrowed mine down to 4.
The stupidest thing. We used to play tag with bottle rockets.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. That adds another one to mine, but
we used to take like pipes or whatever, you know, throw the bottle rocket in there and then just shoot them at each other, you know.
That with Roman candles one time.
That's pretty scary.
I didn't do it, actually. I should say my friend did that to me while I was peeing. I was peeing, and all of a sudden I heard. I think I've told this story on the podcast. I'll just make a short version of it. I was peeing, and all of a sudden I heard a. Like, what is that? So I turned around and my buddy Tito was pointing a Roman candle at me. And it wasn't bad. It was just one of that just kind of flared out quick and it was done. But then he lit another one during that time and it had balls in it. And the ball went flying past my head and exploded. I'm like, Tito, this one is not funny. Like, that one's not good. Like, stop doing this. And I'm like, I had stopped peeing, but I like still had to pee. And I'm running around because my pants are like half down. And one of the things hit the ground, shot up my pant leg, and I kicked it out as it exploded.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that was scary. And then finally, after everything was settled down, I was sitting there and I had my Mountain Dew, and I'm like, I gotta get this guy back. How am I gonna get him back? Well, I still gotta pee, and I had my can, so I dumped out the rest of the pop. I didn't have much left. Filled it up, and I brought it back, and I knew he was drinking Mountain Dew also.
You're so mean.
So
I would kill you.
I dumped it out to about the level of pop he had left. I switched the cans, and he grabbed the can and was sitting by the fire, and he's like, dude, my pop it's warm. I'm like, Tito, of course it's warm. It's been sitting by the fire. Just down it and grab yourself another one. So he did. I heard 2 gulps.
Oh.
And he spit it out, and he's like, why is my pop so salty? And I told him what had happened.
He didn't kill you.
No, he didn't kill me. We hugged it out, and he's like, dude, that was a good comeback. I appreciate it. And so he was not happy about it, but
I'd have killed you.
Yeah.
I'd have been so pissed. Oh.
Pretty young and dumb. So.
Ugh. Yeah.
I wasn't even going to tell that story. I had more of that. If you want me to tell you some more while you're thinking?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. The next one or the first one I have, I should say, is I ran into 2 trees as a kid.
How'd you do that?
One I was like 5 years old, and I was playing baseball in my grandma and grandpa's backyard, and somebody hit it, basically a home run, and it was right towards the tree, and I ran as fast as I could to try to catch the ball, and I ran right into the tree. Like face first, right into the tree.
Ouch.
And then the second one, I was like a little bloody, but I was fine. And then the second one, I was a little bit older, I think middle school, maybe freshman in high school. And I was playing football in the backyard at my mom and Chuck's house. And we were playing with the neighbor kid. And so it was like, there was 3 of us total. So we had a all-time quarterback, and then me and the neighbor kid were playing against each other. And so Chuck was my quarterback. And I ran a route, and my route went right into the tree, and I almost broke my collarbone for the second time, because I actually broke my collarbone playing football one time before that, doing the opposite of Brown. And but yeah, so that happened. Into 2 trees as a kid. Ruined my teeth on a trampoline. Did that once. Yeah, that wasn't fun. That took a lot of dental work to get back, because I was messing around on the trampoline and I lost my balance and I went right face first into the bar. Not a good place to go face first in. If you're going to do that, I would recommend doing that into the trampoline part.
Man, Daredevil as a kid.
Yep, that was not fun. And then I cracked half of my front tooth. The other front tooth got knocked down a few millimeters, which doesn't sound like much, but in your mouth it is. And then, yeah, that was not fun. And then, the last one I guess I have 2 more, but, I have this thing on my hand because I was playing, flashlight tag with Donovan when I was younger, and we were playing in the pitch black, and I tripped, I dropped my flashlight broke, and I landed on something weird. And I picked up my hand, and my hand just felt heavy, and I couldn't see anything because it was pitch black. So I ran over to the barn where everybody was, or the barn, or the garage or wherever we were. I don't even remember. But I ran over and I like finally got to the light and I looked down. I had a corn stalk sticking out of my arm.
Ouch.
It was not fun. It was like in there too, like at least a good solid inch. And like nobody could bring me to the hospital because everybody was drinking. And so I had like people digging in it and trying to get everything we could. And then the next day to the hospital and got it all taken care of. And yeah, now I have a nice little scar on my right hand.
When we were younger, we always went out in the pasture. Well, we went up there every summer to go help Grandpa, on the farm and stuff like that. And one year he had a bull that was just meaner than mean. And we were always out in the pasture, and all of a sudden Grandpa just starts yelling, "Get out of there!" And we were like, "Huh? What?" And all of a sudden the bull just started chasing us, and we barely got back to the gate, flipped over the gate, and that bull just right into the gate, and we got lucky.
Dang.
That thing could have killed us.
That doesn't... Wow. Damn.
That was probably one of the dumbest things. We used to try to, who could grab and touch the electric fence the longest. Nobody could make it long.
Yeah, I can't imagine you can do that for super long.
No, you touched it and you got knocked on your ass right away.
Yep, I bet.
The pig ones you could hold on to a little bit because those weren't as strong.
Yeah.
Me and a couple of buddies, we used to go frog hunting all the time. Well, we'd bring like broadhead arrows and just stab them, Well, freaking one of our buddies got stupid and he started throwing it. We threw it at each other's feet. Well, our one buddy missed and it went into our other buddy's calf. And the arrow went straight through the calf.
Oh.
Didn't hit any bone or anything. It was just the meat. But he had an arrow just going right through his calf.
Oh, man, I can't imagine.
Yeah, so he had to go to the hospital.
Yeah, I can see that.
They took the broadhead out or whatever, and then they cut the back end off and then they pulled it straight through. Then just stitched him up and the muscle just... So now he's sitting there with a calf that's got plenty of scar tissue. But
yeah. Oh, dude, I am just oofed up.
Yeah. I would say that was the worst accident I've ever seen with a calf, but it's not. In college, I was pitching and I was pitching and a guy hit a fly ball out to left center, and our left fielder and our center fielder was going, and our center fielder jumped up to go catch it, and the left fielder slid underneath of him. Yep. And when he slid with his cleats up, and it caught his calf, and it cut the calf right open.
Oh.
And our center fielder did like a flip, lands, and I yell out to him, like, "Are you okay?" He stands up, he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. And the next thing you know, I'm looking out there, and his whole calf muscle just flops out.
Oh, my God.
And I go, "Lay down, you're not okay." And this was just practice. We were just practicing. This was practice without coaches and all, because we weren't allowed to have the coaches there or anything. Otherwise, it was breaking like NCAA rules or whatever. Yeah. So it was just us players practicing, captain's practice. So we had three of us pick him up. I had my car there. I go, "Let's pick him up," because he was my roommate. I go, "Pick him up and let's bring him to the car. And I'll take him to the hospital," because the hospital was like 3 blocks away. Put him into the hospital, and it was not pretty.
No, that doesn't sound like it.
Had to reattach the muscle and stitch him up. He was pretty fucked for a while.
Yeah. Mentally, I would imagine also.
It was the grossest, coolest thing I've ever seen. Like I mean, it was just a calf muscle just what?
Yeah.
Flopped completely out of the skin.
Yikes.
And like I literally like I held the calf like.
Oh God.
Well, we carried him to the car. I couldn't have, you didn't want it flopping around or tearing,
Yeah, so you had to.
Yeah.
I would have used a glove.
Yeah.
Glove.
Get it dirty.
Yeah.
I was trying to keep it as clean as possible.
I guess that's probably more important at that point.
It was just a chunk of meat flop. Like, it was gross.
Yeah. I'm grossed out right now.
So, all right. Next question.
Well, I have one more thing one stupid thing that I did as a kid. I grew up.
Yeah. That was the dumbest thing I ever did too.
That was stupid. I should have just stayed a kid.
I should have stayed like Peter Pan.
Yep.
Never want to grow up. Yeah.
But I mean, technically, I feel like I'm still a kid at heart, so I feel like I'm still doing a pretty good job at that. So.
Nice. Same. All right. How do you cope when things get tough or hard?
Well, I guess I can relate that to still being a kid at heart. If I'm ever having a tough time, I always call my mom or my grandma, and they usually help me out, just talking through it. I'll call you. I'll call friends. I
was going to say, I call you.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I call friends. I call family. I try to talk it through. I try to figure out the best way to go about it. And if I don't know, I try to figure out who would know the best solution or best advice or best way to cope, I guess. Like, because obviously there's some things out there that you can't really get through without just getting through.
Right.
So finding the best way to cope with it, just asking for advice and stuff like that. I always ask people that are closest to me or people that I feel like would have the better answer.
Right. Yeah, same. I do a lot of those. And then here, I deal with it a lot here.
Podcast helps a lot.
Yeah.
But I do just have days where I just decide to either do nothing and just kind of sit and watch TV or movies or lay in bed. Like, those days help a lot too.
Yeah.
Just staying away from everything and everybody helps a lot. And then there's also times where I just basically need to like treat myself. So I basically take myself out on a date and do stuff that I've wanted to do for a while, whether it be get a thing of sushi or go to a movie by myself or go play around at disc golf by myself or just do something that I can get away from everybody and still enjoy myself. I'll take myself out just for, like I said, instead of sushi, I'll maybe just go out and get a pizza and bring it home and watch a movie. Like, it doesn't have to be anything big or extravagant. It can just be anything, something small or little, and that definitely helps me cope with some things.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, there's times where just watching movies and being alone does help. But a lot of the times I'll want to do that, and I know that's not the best thing for me. And I'll force myself to go out and go see people or go do something or get out of the house because just sitting here is not going to help.
No, I definitely feel that too.
So, yeah, I definitely cope a lot of the same ways as you. So.
Yeah. So if you could go on any road trip, where would you go and why?
I wouldn't call it a road trip, but I've always wanted to go to the mouth of the Mississippi. Drop a kayak in and just kayak from the mouth all the way down to the Gulf.
You can count that because you're not driving a car, but you are taking a vehicle. You're driving something.
Right.
I'll count that. It's not a road trip, but I know what you're like. It's
a trip. It's definitely would be a long trip too. I think you'd have to take a month off of work or two.
Yeah, well, it would take a long time. I don't know, about a month maybe though. Because you definitely have to get through like, I don't know how you would get through like Minneapolis.
Yeah, you'd have to carry it.
Yeah.
To go around the dams.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be that hard. I mean, it would, but it wouldn't.
You'd have to find a good spot to get off. You'd have to be like, okay, this is where I need to get off. And you'd have to do a lot of planning. For
yep,
sure.
Absolutely.
But you have to do a lot of planning for any
kind of road trip. And then food and stuff like that too. I'd almost have to have somebody follow me or meet me at places. Cause
yeah. You can't carry that much food with you.
No. Sleeping could be difficult. I think it'd be a fun trip. I just think and a major feat to say that, I did that. I traveled the whole Mississippi. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, maybe you'd have to like plan your stops. Like you'd have to like start obviously. Maybe you could stop in like Monticello, because that would be obviously a good spot to stop.
Right.
Stop there, get a hotel, or obviously if it's Monticello, you might as well just go home.
Right.
Then drive back the next day and have somebody follow you till the next spot, and then just keep going.
Yep.
It'd be fun.
I wonder how long it would take me. I think it would.
That I wouldn't know, because I'm sure it would depend on when you go and how fast it's flowing.
Right. Then the other thing was I'd probably look into it and see somebody's had to have done it already.
I'm sure there's somebody that attempted it at least.
So then my next thing would be, all right, can I do it faster?
Nice.
So, all right, what about you? Where would you want to do?
So I have 2 road trips that I would like to take. I guess I technically could make it 3. But one is to do a road trip out to the West Coast and one out to the East Coast. So I would hit every state on my way through the West Coast. So that would take about a month. Actually, that one might actually take a little longer than a month. Probably between a month and a half. Probably closer to a month and a half. And then the East Coast would take about a month, because the states are a little bit closer. But I would hit every state on the way. Like I would start in Minnesota, obviously, for both, and then make my way to all the states on the west, and then all the states on the east. And this would only be the 48 states. I wouldn't hit Alaska or Hawaii, unfortunately. But
you can't drive
I would
there?
hit all the states on the. What was that?
You can't drive there?
I wouldn't drive there. No. Maybe jet ski. But I would do the West Coast, and I would hit up an open mic and at least one course, disc golf course, in each state.
That would be cool.
So that's why it would take a month and a half for the West Coast and about a month on the East Coast. So that way I can do all of this. I probably wouldn't, I wouldn't be focused on doing comedy in every state, because I feel like that would be way more difficult to do than just playing a round of disc golf. Because I could do a round of disc golf whenever. If I were to do comedy, it's got to be
planned
basically at night. So right. I would have to spend at least a night in each state, which I probably wouldn't do. I would probably just be driving through some states and play around disc golf, and that was it. So, but yeah, that's what I would do. And then another road trip that I want to do again is out to Utah to see Donovan's spot again.
That'd be cool.
I've done that twice now.
Nice. All right. What do you think is your worst vice and or habit?
I think my worst vice has to be
Let me guess.
candy.
Oh. Okay. I was gonna say
I was
jerking.
gonna say,
I was gonna
what
say
was that?
I was gonna say jerking off.
I mean, that too. Be jerking off to candy.
Ooh, red knots. Ooh, red knots.
I like how you called them red and hots.
I don't know. I don't look at candy.
They're red hots. I
Whatever.
know that because I love candy. But yeah, candy and pop. Those are my two vices. I can maybe include coffee in there every now and then because there's points where I'm like in the morning. I've never thought I would ever get to the point where I like feel like I need coffee, and every now and then I get that feeling. I haven't had it in a while, but at one point I was having at least one coffee a day, which is a lot for me. I used to not like coffee, but
I'm pretty sure I was the one that turned you on to coffee.
And once I found the creamer that I drink now, it was game over. Like I can only drink that creamer, and it's amazing. It's the Cinnabon creamer. Amazing.
Didn't I turn you on to coffee? We did the overnighter,
yeah.
the all nighter at the bowling alley, and you go, I don't drink coffee. I'm like, you'll like this. Let me try it. And I gave you like,
You did, yeah. I remember that night.
yeah.
I don't know for sure if that was the night that like got me into it, because I know my ex was also trying to get me into coffee around that time, and she was having a difficult time. And you definitely, I think, had a better input on that than she did.
Yeah, the cream and 2 sugars, and you're like, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, and then I started having a little bit at Novus once I ended up working there for a while. And I think Novus is kind of where I feel like I started it because it was free coffee.
Right.
Like I didn't have, and I would do one coffee and one hot chocolate.
I was going to say, and it was free. You like that free stuff.
And it was free. I like free stuff. I like free and discounted stuff.
Yeah.
What's your worst vice or habit?
I would say cigars.
Really?
I don't do a lot of it, but it's something that I wish I didn't smoke at all, but it's hard to, I love a good cigar, once a month.
Okay. I guess I didn't even know you did that.
Yeah.
You like had it every now and then, but I didn't realize it was a regular once a month thing.
Yeah. It's relaxing. I could have said that for coping. That if it's not that, then procrastination.
Yeah.
That's a real bad habit that I have. I love putting shit off to the very last minute.
Yeah. I don't really have that. Like I do sometimes, like when I'm feeling lazy, but like once I get started on something, I need it to be like I can't clear it from my mind until it's done. Right. And if it's done properly, then I can finally like move on and go forward. But
yeah. I do so much that I try to squeeze everything in, and I'll push things off to the last minute just so I can get more shit in.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense at all.
As well, you like almost feel like you push it off to the point where you have to get it done now, otherwise.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no other option. It's got to be done now.
Yep. So.
I could see that.
Yeah. Not a good habit, but.
Yeah. It's the most elaborate prank that you've ever planned.
You tell me yours. I gotta think.
So at Target Field, there was a guy that worked there, and there was another worker that we were talking with, and this guy that I was talking about, his name is Rich. He was one of the cleaning people, and he was one of the supervisors for the cleaning staff.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking, and this other coworker was like ended up like talking to us or whatever, and they're like, "So do you guys like know each other? Like, do you guys like know each other like before here?" And like one of us, I don't even remember who, was like, "Oh yeah, we're cousins." And he's an older gentleman. He's like in his 60s, and I was 23 at the time, I think. And so they're like, cousins? Like, there seems to be a pretty big age gap for you guys to be cousins. And we're like, oh no, we're first cousins. Like, that's our relationship. Like, that's how we started. And so we like kept that going for weeks. Like, just kept telling this person that we were cousins. So anytime, like, I think it was almost a full season of the twins, and we just kept saying, and so we just kept calling each other cuz, and like anytime we were around that person, even when we weren't around that person, we would like still call each other cuz just in case they were like walking by or something. And so we did that for like an entire season. And then at the end of the season, the person asked us again, they're like, seriously, are you guys seriously cousins? Like, this just doesn't make sense to me. Like, I've been thinking about this like outside of work. Like, I can't get this out of my head. And then finally we're like, no, why would we be cousins? And like, we just had them going for the entire season, or basically the entire season.
I did.
Even after that season, we would see each other and we'd be like, hey, cuz.
Nice. I didn't pull this prank off, but I was part of the lie. When I first started working in landscaping or whatever, you know, I had to, I just became single, and I had to deal with Gracie and all that scheduling and all that, so I had to be off at 4:00 every day, just so I can go pick her up from daycare and stuff like that. Well, this one work crew, they had a young kid on their crew, and they told him that me and this other guy were gay together. And that we had a kids together. And that's why I always had to leave at 4, because Justin had to go pick up the kids.
Yep, nice.
And I didn't know that this was going on. This went on for like 6 months. And every time
you were unaware of the whole thing?
Yeah, I was unaware of the whole thing. But every time I saw this kid, he would always just give me the strangest looks. Because the guy that they named just, you know, it's not a guy that I would pick if I was going to be gay, you know?
Yeah.
And so, all of a sudden, finally, he came up to me. He's like, so, are you guys like married? I'm like, married? What? What are you talking about? And fucking, I look over and 2 of our buddies are in the corner just laughing their asses off. They're like, we had this joke going on for 6 months.
Wow, that's pretty elaborate.
And I go, what the hell did they tell you? And all of a sudden he tells me, and I'm like, all right. I go, you really think that's the guy I would pick?
So you were like taken aback.
The guy that he told me was like, hey, wait a minute. I'm not gay, but you were.
He's like, but you wouldn't?
Yeah, like he was getting upset that I wouldn't pick him. And I was like, Jesus, that's funny as hell that it went on that long.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Otherwise, I don't know. I've never really played any real big pranks.
That same. Like, I just thought, like, that's literally the biggest one I've ever been a part of is Rich. Like, I just remember his name. I remember I just called him Uncle Rich. Or no, it was Cousin Rich. Sorry, I wrote Uncle Rich on the thing, but it was Cousin Rich.
When I was younger, I played a lot of dumb ones.
Not Rich. Yeah.
You know, put a piece of clear tape under the faucet.
Yeah.
So when you turn it on, it sprayed straight at you. I shrink wrapped the toilet.
Nice.
I short sheeted the bed. You know, so you fold the sheet in half. You get in, you keep. Put the water bucket. You know, you crack the door. Put the water bucket on top of the door, and when you open it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
All the little guys.
yeah. All those little ones. I've done all those dumb little ones. I bet you can't roll a quarter down your nose. And you paint the edge of the quarter.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The binoculars. Paint on the binoculars. Black eyes.
We're having having somebody put something on their forehead, and you have to get it into the funnel that they put in their pants, and then you pour the water down the funnel.
Yeah, I mean, I've never done that one, but I've seen it.
Yeah, I've done that one. We could go on for days.
Dude, I remember me and you used to get a girl at the bowling alley. It's Gullible written on the ceiling, and she'd look up every time.
Yeah. I always do the shoulder tap one.
Yep.
I got your sister real bad one time. She was leaning on a wall that was forever long, forward and backward, and I got her to look right into the wall. I'm like, who would be there?
You always do the shoulder tap.
Oh, yeah.
So. All right. What was your favorite game as a kid?
I don't think I ever had a favorite game. There's a lot of games I used to play. I love games so much. Like, I play games as often as I can, even to this day. But I remember as a kid, I really loved Ghost in the Graveyard. That was one of my faves.
Nice.
Connect 4.
Nice.
Baseball, football. Like, I loved a lot of sports. I remember playing a lot of Monopoly as a kid. I would even play Monopoly by myself.
Last time we played, you got pretty mad.
I don't like the fact that the computer just let you win.
Yeah.
You literally never landed on any of my stuff, and I always landed on your stuff.
Hey, when you're good, and I'm good.
Yeah, no, that's not how that works. It's the computer was cheating. But yeah, so I loved all sorts of board games, sports. Yeah, I love all that stuff to this day. Like, I play at work every now and then. Like, when I'm taking my breaks, I'll play backgammon. I'll play solitaire. We love playing Nerds here at the house. Love playing Trekking the National Parks is a really fun board game. Tenzi is a really fun dice game. I love Yahtzee. Like, there's so many different games that I love playing. Chess, checkers. Basically, name a game and I'll love playing it.
Right.
Yeah.
As a kid, I loved all those games. I mean, we used to play Ghost in the Graveyard too, Capture the Flag, Red Rover.
Ghost in the Graveyard 2. I only remember the first one.
Smart ass. Kerplunket was one that I used to love as a little kid.
That's a really fun game. I remember that one.
Manicala.
What was the one that you said after Ghost in the Graveyard?
Capture the Flag.
Oh yes, I love Capture the Flag. That was so fun.
We used to play Capture the Flag in the dark. Man, that was a blast. We used to play so late at night that our parents would get so mad that we were still on. We're like, come on, just one more game, one more, please. Like, the Fireflies were like our nightlights, you know?
Yeah.
But man, we played a lot of cards, Pinochle, Choose Your Tricks, Spoons, Chase the Ace, Bang. A lot of people.
I used to love playing Texas Hold'em as a kid. I know it sounds weird, but I would do that and poker, or not poker, blackjack. I would play both of those by myself as if I was like at the casino, like trying to win money. And I wasn't of age to play at the casino, so I would just play it by myself and be like, this is how much money I would have won.
High school, we used to play Texas Hold'em all the time. We used to have like little table tournaments in high school. It's like the one time my parents and other parents like didn't care that we were out till like 2, 3 in the morning. We'd be playing poker.
Nice. Dude, my uncle has a really fun idea that I think we should actually use for the podcast. I think it might be a really fun episode to do. Um, I have to figure out the details, but I think it'd be fun to do this as an episode like for Patreon. And he wants to play a game of poker. So he wants to get a bunch of people to come play poker. And everybody at the poker table is wearing Depends.
I'm out.
Not gonna play?
No, I'm not shitting myself. I'm sorry.
You don't necessarily have to. It's just if you end up doing it.
That thing would be comfortable just to wear.
Yeah, so but what the point of the game is, so you would be wearing this diaper, and all the diaper, you weigh a diaper prior to going in. So everybody, so we have a base weight for what it's supposed to be.
This sounds like
and at the end of
roast.
At the end of the tournament, whoever has the most weight added to the diaper wins.
I'm out. I'm out. That sounds so gross. So
I think
gross.
it would be very, very gross, but I think it'd be a fun experiment.
I used to go to the casino a lot, and do you know how many times I went in the men's bathroom and seen an old man changing his Depends because he didn't.
I have not seen that, but
because he didn't want to get up from a freaking machine.
That's different because we would be doing this on purpose.
So bad.
See, technically, it sounds like he did too, but anyway.
So.
You don't want to do it?
No, I'm out.
Might do it without you then. That might be one episode I do by myself.
Yeah, you can do that by yourself. I'm out. I'll commentate. I'll bring the mic and just commentate. Oh, and it looks like somebody in the right is shitting themselves right now.
I would hide it. I would make sure that you don't know when I'm doing it, but it'll be done.
The look on his face, it looks like he's squishing something around over there. So,
do you like receiving giveaway items? Whether you're at a baseball game, at a casino, or wherever they're giving away free merchandise. Do you like receiving that stuff?
If it's a good prize, I'm not like you, I don't really want the knick-knack parts stuff of it, and where you would love it. But if it's like a good, like, I have bobbleheads. I loved collecting the bobbleheads and stuff like that. I still have all those. And then I have Kirby Puckett. They gave away a mug, or what do you call the beer? Beer stein. They had a Kirby Puckett beer stein. I still have that. Still in the box, unopened. I still have the Joe Mauer bobblehead, the Kirby Puckett bobblehead. I think I got Justin Morneau bobblehead. I might even have Doug McCavich.
Dang.
I have the baseball bat for Christian Guzman when he broke the triples record that year.
Yeah.
Still have that bat. A couple Homer hankies they gave away. Got those. Yeah.
You have more giveaway items than I do. And I worked there.
So, yeah. Yeah, I guess I do like them. I just, as long as it's a cool enough thing, you know?
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you got some really cool ones.
Yeah. When it's cool, I want to go. The one I never got that I really wanted was the bomber hat. I never got a Twins bomber hat.
Dang.
I went probably 3 or 4 times trying to get that thing, and I never got there in time. They're always out by the time I got there.
Bad.
Yeah. What about you?
Might be surprised by my answer.
No way.
Don't really like Like I sometimes, like you're saying, like I do like some of them, but for the most part, I know what goes into giving it away, and I know that it brings the worst out of people when they
Oh,
have free items that everybody's trying to get, and there's people that are trying to be selfish and try to get three or four of them by themselves, and they're like, "Well, I didn't get it at that gate over there." Okay, well, you're already in the stadium, so you probably just gave it to somebody. I can't just give you one because you're already in. So you should have gotten it at the gate that you came in because I can't give you a second one because you probably gave it to the person you were here with and they're holding it. And I have no way of seeing that you didn't do that. So I feel bad because I have to like presume that they're lying to me. But unfortunately, that was the policy. Like you can't just give away items from people behind you. You can only give to the people in front of you because you don't want like if we're only giving away like 5,000 or 10,000 of them, I want to make sure that the kid that's and like maybe 9,999, I want to make sure that that kid gets one, and I don't want the person that was here and trying to snag three of them because then that kid is out. So I'm thinking of that kid. I'm not thinking of the person that's trying to scam me, or maybe they're not scamming me. Maybe they are telling the truth, but
right.
I want that kid to get it. Like that's what I'm thinking
I hear you.
of. So that's the part I don't like is just that it brings the worst out in people. Um, then the people that get angry at you because you did that, and you're like, sorry, but you got to move on. So we'll see you later.
Those are the same people on Black Friday that get in fights and
Yes.
rip things out of kids' hands and
Yep. So I'm not trying to be mean, but I have to do what I think is right, and I want to make sure that that kid is going to get one. And and there's some people that are not bright enough. They will literally be holding the item and saying they didn't get it.
yeah.
Like, I literally see it in your hand right now. Why are you saying you don't have one?
That's ridiculous.
Or it's like poking out of their bag or something. I'm like, it's right there. Like, you have one.
That's sad.
Yeah, that's why I said no. For me, I guess I do like some of them, but I just know what goes into it and what some of the workers have to go through.
Man,
And
I would have
that's just at,
never.
yeah, that was just at Target Field. Like, there's people like that at the casino
Oh, I'm
too.
sure. I'm sure
Like,
it's worse at the
oh yeah,
casino.
yeah, it happens quite a bit.
I always pictured you as the guy at like going into like my parents' home shows, and I could see you with a bag going, "Look at all these free pens I got," you know?
I mean, I would definitely do something like that.
Yeah.
Like, if it's like, I don't know, I would, a lot of the stuff, like all the giveaway stuff, I never really have a real connection to, and I like collect it. But I usually, like, if it's that kind of stuff, I give that to other people that I know will enjoy it. So, like, a lot of the giveaways that we got, like, as working at Target Field, the giveaways that I did get, a lot of them I gave away as presents
Nice.
to people that I thought would appreciate it more. You know, like I appreciated it, but I mean, like some of the stuff I kept, like I love my twins hat that I got back in 2011 or
You wore that hat a lot.
13. I can't remember. Yeah, that hat, I love that hat. I actually bought one on eBay because I missed it because my other one was so sun bleached that it became white when it was dark blue.
I remember that.
So I got a second one now.
Now that you say that, I do believe you because I mean you came back from the Vikings game with a bunch of stuff that you gave to me.
Yeah. No, a lot of the stuff that I got as giveaways from there, I just gave to other people.
Love it. I definitely would have never, if I was a gambling man, I would have been
You would have
wrong.
lost.
All right. At what point in a relationship do you feel you feel that you can trust them?
Trust the other partner.
Yeah.
No, there's maybe a lot of different points where like I'm building trust. Guess I don't know if it's a cliche answer or not, but like after sex, because obviously I was close enough for that kind of an intimacy. Um, I know some people don't necessarily think that's a step like into trust, like they just will jump into bed with just about anybody. But for me, I'm more protective, I guess, of that. And so I don't just jump in with anybody. I feel like I need to have the trust before I get to that point. And so I feel like that would be my answer is once I feel comfortable enough just with somebody to have sex with them, then the trust has been built enough. But
So you still don't trust me?
oh no, that's why we still have not had sex yet. That's the only reason. The attraction is there. It's just the trust that's not.
Nice. So this is what gets me in trouble a lot. Is I trust everybody.
Oh.
You have my trust until you prove me wrong, and then it's hard for you to get it back when you do.
I mean, that's to a point. I definitely have people out there that I don't trust, or people that not necessarily that lost my trust, but like never really gained my trust just because of some stuff that I saw them do, or like I don't know. There's definitely people out there that are shady, and I don't trust with anything. So
I'll trust you until I can't trust you.
yeah.
And once I can't trust you, then it's hard to get that trust back.
I feel like that's a valid point. Like I do trust basically everybody. Well, I do trust everybody right away because like you don't know anything about them if you want to judge a book by their cover.
It burns me a lot.
Yeah, and then if you do, yeah, no, I understand what you're saying there for sure. I was just talking about like relationships that I've had in the past where like maybe it's a coworker or an acquaintance or a friend's friend or something, and all of a sudden like the night just takes a turn, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I don't want to trust that person with anything that I have because they just totally ruined that. So,
All right. Yeah. Yeah, I'm naive, man. I try to see the good in everybody. And then gotta get burned. A lot.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it is what it is. It's
seen
cool.
it unfortunately, which sucks.
Yeah. It is what it is. Trust is a big thing.
Yeah.
So
There's not like a what's your point that in the relationship that you feel like that you can't trust them?
once you lie, and it's a big enough lie to where it hurts. And that could be friends or relationships or anything like that. Just when it's a lie big enough that it hurts and you can really feel it, that's time to cut ties. So,
What's something that you haven't thought about in a while, but kind of miss it when you think about it?
you're going to think this is really dumb, but the first thing that popped in my head when you asked this question, Popeye.
What?
Popeye.
Right?
Popeye, the cartoon. Popeye the Sailor Man.
Popeye. I thought you were saying pie.
Popeye. I haven't seen that cartoon in years, and man, that used to be one of my favorites.
I remember watching Popeye.
And I introduced Gracie to Full House, the original Full House, not. And Joey was always big Popeye guy, you know. And I was like, man, I remember watching Popeye with my dad. Like, there was nights that we'd wake up and he'd have to feed my sisters or whatever, and I'd wake up with him and we'd watch Popeye together. And I go, man, that was one of my favorite cartoons, you know? I hated spinach, but man, I'd try it every time just because I was like, man, I'm going to get freaking ripped.
maybe this time, this can.
Oh, it was such a great song, too, the intro and all that.
Why would I think that's dumb? I like that a lot.
Yeah. Oh, it is a cartoon. So, and I think back, you know, that's something that I almost forgot about until I showed Gracie that, and I was like, man, I miss that cartoon. So, what about you?
Cool. The thing that I thought of first when I came up with this question is flag football.
Nice.
Think about obviously I think about football because I'm watching the NFL and stuff, but you don't think about flag football. And I played quite a bit of flag football in my life, and I love it. Because there's not really anything you have to worry about. I was a small guy, so sometimes you had to worry about the big guys getting you. But flag football, it didn't matter your size because they're not coming after you; they're going after your flag, and so you could be as free as you could. And I played in college. I played at the Metrodome, with all my.
I remember that. I remember.
With all my Target Field coworkers. That was so fun. Playing at Target Field, we had summer outings, so we would play out in the parks in Minneapolis and stuff, and it was just amazing. So fun, so competitive, and it was just a blast. And every now and then I think about it, and it just gets me in a really good mood, and I really want to go play, but there's not a lot of people that play flag football anymore.
In high school, we had this kid. He wasn't the fastest. He was an athlete, and he wasn't the fastest guy, but he did this. We called it the tornado.
Okay, so
and he'd go
spinning.
He'd just keep spinning, and he'd go right through a whole bunch of people, and never get his flag freaking ripped.
Hey.
He'd just spin all the way through the group. I'm like, how did you, what? How does that possible? Nobody got lucky and snagged it? He's like, it works every time, man. It works every time.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah.
I guess that's one way of doing it. Might as well try it. I don't know if I would want to do it because I don't think I could spin and go straight.
Yeah.
In a line.
I could spin. I could do a spin move, but I could not. He spun
Couldn't do the Tasmanian Devil.
Yeah, it was just like the Tasmanian, and he knew where he was going. I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
And he would go.
Power to you though.
And he would go pretty fast forward. It wasn't just circles and just slowly going. It was almost like he was on a full run still. And still just doing circles as he went. I'm like,
dang. Yeah, that's impressive.
It was impressive.
Give it to him. A little jealous.
Right? I was a little bit. Gym class, I was always one of the top athletes.
Oh, exactly.
So. All right. What do you value most about our friendship?
I value that we are able to be open with each other without any judgment. We can just say what's happening. We can tell each other hey, you might want to do this, or we can be open and honest with each other and not have to worry about what the other person thinks. And obviously we've been doing that a lot with the podcast, on the air and off the air. We're able to just be open and honest with each other. And we were just talking about questions for a future episode, and we were able to figure it out. We had Like we're like, oh, maybe we should do this question here, and then we're like, oh no, okay, well this is why I think we should do it, and then this is why I think we should do it, and then we just talk it out and figure it out. So we just work really well together. That's another thing that I value. Like we have different ideas, but we still can figure out an answer or a solution to everything.
We compromise very well.
We compromise very well. And I feel like we are different people in a lot of ways, but I think that benefits both of us.
Yeah, I'm your peanut butter to your jelly.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely, whatever you don't bring to the table, I feel like I do. And whatever I don't, you do. So that's why I think this works really well. And the other thing is, what I value most is you're always there. You're always there. I mean, whether you want to be or not, you're always there to listen. And, I mean, we talk. I talk to you more than probably is healthy. I mean, we talk on the phone probably 4 times a week.
Around there. Like sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's less, sometimes it's more. Like
on average, it's probably right around 4.
You also throw in the podcast. We don't do the podcast like every week, but I mean, like there's some weeks we do it multiple times. Some weeks we don't do it at all, but like we're still in communication with each other some way.
And it's going to have to be a couple more times now that we're going to do an extra episode.
Exactly.
But we never really fight. We've had our road trip was a little it was a little push. But I think that was us being too close to each other for such a long time, and the heat and the sweat and the smells. Yeah, I think that's what.
Yeah, there was a lot of variables in that one.
That was being trapped in pretty much like a cell.
Yeah.
So I mean, we definitely got on each other. But even then, we didn't really. We just had 1 or 2 moments.
It was, and it wasn't like a fight. We were just like,
I need to get away.
The situation. It was more at the situation than anything.
Yeah, and it was, and the fight wasn't even like a fight. It was, I need to get away from you for just a little bit.
Yep.
I've been touching you for like shoulder to shoulder for way too fucking long. I just need to. Yep. You go over there for a little while. I'm going to go over here.
Exactly. And we ended up finding like at that hotel in Austin. That was amazing. Yeah. We were able to shower. That was number 1.
I showered 3 times, like back to back to back.
I know. We needed that so bad.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That was a nice hotel.
It was a very nice hotel. Next time I go to Austin, I want to go back to that hotel.
Yeah. That was fun. I don't remember
when it was, but we'll have to look it up for sure.
And I could have spent the whole trip just there, to be honest.
I would have been down for that too, because we could have gone out and like done stand up. I didn't have like any of my jokes, I don't think. So we maybe next time we go, we could definitely just
do stand
up, do the podcast, and go play disc golf. Like, I would be down for all that.
The comedy that we saw just in the 2 days that we were there was freaking phenomenal.
It's a really good time.
And we didn't even know where to go. Like, we were so young into the comedy scene.
Yeah, we just went places and they just happened to be really good.
We happened to hit like the best comedy places. Because now I listen to podcasts and I was like, yeah, we were there. Yeah, we were there. I was like, oh, cool. So, yeah, I think to be honest, I think we got really lucky on that road trip. Because how many times did we get in an Uber and the Uber guy goes, this is like the local spots. How do you guys know about this? And we're
like, I remember that. Yeah. We would just talk to people and they're like, yeah, we got to go play, like go here. And we would be like, hey, we're looking to sing karaoke. Where should we go? Oh yeah, go to this place. Well, okay.
All right. We just hit the right people and asked the right people at the right times. It was a good time.
A good time. Once we got to Austin.
Yeah. And I remember when we stopped at Missouri. What's the place? Branson.
Branson was awesome. I love Branson.
And we sang karaoke that night, and those people were like, "So what shows are you guys in?" They thought we were freaking.
Oh yeah, yep. I remember that. We're like, just visiting.
Yeah, we're not any show. They're like, "You guys don't do any shows. You guys should be in shows. You guys are good."
Well, maybe we should do a singing podcast.
Yeah, right.
Go to Branson. We'll just throw up our flyers everywhere.
Yeah, right. So, but yeah, we've never had an argument. Like even on the podcast, with all the stuff and all the decisions we've ever had to make here, we've never, not
Just
once,
figured it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we gel so well together. So yeah, I think we definitely work well together.
We even finish each other's
Sentences.
sandwiches.
Oh, dang it. It's always sandwiches. It's always sandwiches.
Okay. What is the funniest date, or not funniest? What is the funnest date that you've ever gone on?
Funnest date I've ever gone on. Went to a couple of sporting
Or
events.
one of. It doesn't have to be the funniest. Just one of the funniest. Or funnest. I can't not say funniest.
You said that even when we were going through them.
I know, and I'm literally like just in my head. I'm thinking, okay, what's the funnest? What's the funnest? What's the funnest? And then it comes out funniest. So, anyway, what's the funnest?
Yeah, it wasn't the person I was with, but a good time. We went to Toby Keith's Bar and Grill back when that was still open.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't Eric Church, but it was a little name. And now he's a big name in country music. And we saw him live.
Nice.
Lee Bryce.
Okay.
He's a bigger name in country music now. I mean, he's not huge, but he's a big name. Like, it's probably a $100 ticket now, dude. And we saw him playing in the bar.
Awesome. That's a fun bar. Moonlight played there once.
Yep. Yeah, so did Lincoln with his band.
Yeah, yep. I remember that.
So yeah,
that was a bar.
Yeah, it was.
So they didn't do their taxes or whatever.
Yeah. The bar was shaped like a guitar.
Yeah, that was
It was a huge,
really cool bar.
Huge bar.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't believe they didn't make it. Like,
well, I don't remember exactly what it was.
I'm pretty sure it was tax evasion or something like that. Yeah.
It was either
they got in trouble
or something with the liquor license. They didn't pay the liquor. I can't remember. It was something that they were supposed to do that they didn't.
Right. So that was probably the coolest and funnest.
Yeah, it sounds like a fun date.
It could have been a better date, but it was still a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
How about you?
The funnest date I've ever gone on. I just call it the disposable camera date. It was fun because the whole point of the date was we each got a disposable camera, and throughout the entire date you were supposed to use all of the pictures on the camera, and so you had to be very precise when you use it because you only had I think 20 some pictures, but you wanted to capture everything, and so we just went to Minneapolis and we went to a bunch of different places and just wanted to take pictures of each other, of the date, of the sights we saw, and all the stuff. And it was so fun, and I would love to do another date like that. And it was just amazing, because we played. I remember we went to the art, there's the art museum the outdoor art place in Minneapolis, like with the Spoon and Cherry. We went there. We played Legos outside of there. There was, we did that. We went on the bridge. We went to where they usually have movies in the park in the winter. I remember we went there one winter and watched Elf. Same person, just different time. We just had so much fun, and
That's cool.
remember that date. I think back to that date today. Like it was just a really good time.
I didn't do it as a date, but back in high school, I used to throw a disposable camera in my cup holder, and then I used to give rides to everybody because I was one of the first people in my grade to get the driver's license and all that. So if you got in the car and they're like, "What's up with the?" I go, "Take pictures, do whatever you want, man. Let's." And then I go develop them. And I still today I'll like around the house, I'll be cleaning and I'll find a pack of the pictures, and I'm like, "Oh man, look at that!"
Fun.
So it was kind of cool. I only did it like 4 or 5 times, but it was pretty cool.
That is fun.
And it's always in the car. It was never like out and about or anything. It was always in the car and us making funny faces and shit like that. It's kind of cool.
Cool. I like that a lot. I kind of want to get a disposable camera now and just go do it for fun.
Do they even make them anymore?
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
When I went on my cruise back in, I think, 2017, I know that's a while ago, that's what I took most of my pictures on.
I don't even
I
know.
like 3 of them. I think 2 of them were waterproof.
Okay.
Like they have waterproof ones now.
Well, they've had waterproof
They've really-
ones for a while.
They've really developed cameras that the disposable cameras are now waterproof. It's like the best they've done, I think, with photography.
With technology now.
Yeah.
I don't like around here though. I don't think. I mean, I'm sure you can find them, but I bet you got to hunt for a place to develop.
Maybe I feel like Walgreens or maybe Walmart does. I know Walmart used to all the time.
Yeah, Walmart used to, but I don't think they do anymore.
I'm sure
Maybe.
you can go to like Walgreens or something.
I don't know. I haven't developed.
I know for sure. I've gone to Walgreens and developed like a digital picture from my phone, and I'm pretty sure I saw that you could do it with disposable. But I'm not 100%, but I thought I saw something like that.
I know you can do digital, but man, I haven't seen a photo. I haven't developed photos in years.
It's been since 2017 for me, but I'm sure there's still around somewhere.
Like I said, I think you got to search. I don't know, maybe Walgreens. I haven't. But that being said, I haven't been in a Walgreens in a long time either.
I look it up. I might make this a challenge for us.
There you go. I kind of like that.
Write that down as a challenge idea.
Take a disposable camera and do photos, and then get them.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it a little later on, so you forget about it, and then bring it back when you least expect it.
I like it. That'd be a fun challenge, to be honest. All right. What does your retirement look like?
I think my retirement basically looks like my life now a little bit. Obviously it's probably going to have some changes within there. But I see myself still playing disc golf, still doing comedy, still doing the podcast, still wanting to go on road trips, still wanting to adventure, still wanting to watch movies, scary movies, watch comedy movies. Basically everything I do now, just I'd be older and have time because I'll be retired.
Nice.
I see myself bowling a little bit more, maybe playing video games, board games, maybe doing, I like puzzles. I don't want to do them super often. Like, I know there's people like in retirement that do puzzles all the time. I would do them maybe one puzzle a year-ish, maybe not even that. But I love just games, so I would be doing a lot of game stuff.
Okay.
You?
My retirement would look like there'd be a stone that says here and died here, because I don't think I'm going to retire ever. That'd be 6
It's
feet
going to be
under.
your retirement as a headstone.
Yeah, my head's as a headstone. Yeah, that'd be my retirement. 'Cause I just don't see myself ever slowing down.
Yeah.
I asked Gracie, this was a while ago, I go, what do you think if Dad started dating again? She goes, you don't need to. And I go, why not? She goes, you got me. I go, well, what happens when you get older and you move on and you get married? Then you can work more. I'm like, oh, okay.
Nice. Yeah, you can just work more. That's fine.
I think she knows that Dad's just kind of a workaholic. So I just don't see myself ever. I could see myself quitting something here or there, but I would never be fully retired. I would still do this or stand
Still
up.
do something part-time, yeah.
I don't like stand up. I hear these comedians like, I'm ready to retire. I'm like, how do you, what? I just don't see that as an option. Like, I would love to. How do you ever want to quit the stage? Like, that would be, as long as people want to come see me, I'm always going to do it.
I feel like a good retirement job. Working at Target Field, I realized is a great retirement job for a lot of people. And I think that would be a really fun retirement job.
Yeah. I do this forever. If I can make money doing this enough to survive, yeah, I'm in. Sign me up.
Yep.
90 years.
Yep.
Oh man, welcome to the stupidest podcast.
90 years, you're going to be 125.
Modern medicine, it's doable. I always tell everybody, they go, how old do you think you're going to be? I go, 103. They go, how do you say 103? I go, God hates me that much. He's going to keep me around. He just won't take me. The guy, he just won't take me. So.
Do you remember your first haircut?
Do I remember my first haircut, or do you want to know the first one that I can remember?
Either one.
No.
The first one that you can remember, because I don't think you'll be able to remember the first one that you don't remember.
Good answer. So last week.
Nice. Nice.
Now, the first one I can remember. I think it was in Colorado, and I remember being in like a race car, and he pumped up the seat and he gave me a haircut. That's the one I can. That's the first one I can remember. It was a cool little race car that I got to sit in, a race car chair, and he cut my hair in that. I had to be really little, and I barely remember it. I can't even remember if it was a good haircut or not. One that I do remember really well, I was probably 4, maybe 5, and I got spiked hair.
Nice.
Because it was Bart. I loved The Simpsons when I was younger, and I was like, I want to be like Bart. I want spiked hair like Bart. And I went, the mom took me in, and wow, we spiked my hair.
Nice, that's cool.
How about you?
So I don't remember the exact first haircut. I do remember my mom had a picture of my first haircut, and I was really little. I don't even remember how old I was. But I was just in this like like you said, almost like a race car chair. It was some sort of chair. It wasn't a race car, but it was something like that. Um, and I was just out of it. I had no idea what was happening. I was so confused, and I had just the biggest confused look on my head. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, so it was just funny. But I do remember one of the first haircuts I remember. My aunt used to be a hairstylist,
Mm-hmm.
and she would like that was her living. That's what she did as a career. And I remember her cutting my hair a lot when I was a kid. Like we would even have like haircut parties at my grandma's house where like everybody needed a haircut. She would come in, cut everybody's hair, and then have a party when you're not getting your hair cut, and then move on.
Oh,
Just keep partying.
John Heffron. You know John Heffron, right? The comedian?
I think so. Yeah, yep.
He goes, I remember getting a lot of bad haircuts from my mom. Mom, can I get money to go get a haircut for prom? And she's like, I'll cut it. No, I got 1,000 pictures from my elementary school that says you can't. You know?
Nice.
He's got a good bit about it. You should listen to that one. Mom used to cut her hair with the same scissors that we used to cut the dingleberries off the dog's ass.
Oh, my. Oh, thanks.
He goes, but you know what the funny thing is we cut the dingleberries off the dog's ass, but those are the same scissors that you'd go grab when you had to cut your Otter Pops. It's a good bit.
Gross. That is good. But yeah, I do remember another haircut that was pretty memorable was when I moved to Buffalo with my mom and Chuck. The first time we went to, I think it was Great Clips. My mom asked for a number 3, which at the Great Clips that we went to in Stillwater, there was like a haircut number 3 where they like, it was a style.
Mm-hmm.
And they took it as a guard number 3 and buzzed all of my hair out. I had hair that was like at least down to my eyes, like everywhere. And then it was just gone. And my mom, as soon as she heard the buzzer, she was like,
no.
Okay. Well, she was like, because there was other people there.
Right.
So she's like, oh, okay. And then she turned around and saw that they were like heading towards my head with the razor or with the buzzer. And she's like, she literally screamed out to have her stop, but she already cut my hair. And she's like, well, I guess we're doing it now. And so I just had a buzzed head and
never went back.
Kept it for the most part in middle school. And then I grew back out for a little while. I don't know if it was high school or shortly after or when. I grew it back out, but then I didn't like it. So I just kept short hair. So I thought why I've always had short hair was because of that haircut back in middle school.
I used to have long hair.
I love short hair. I'm so glad that it happened because I love it. But
high school, I used to have long ass hair.
I remember seeing some of those pictures.
Mm-hmm. And then I bicked it. I went from straight long to bicking it. Like I buzzed it, bicked it, and I had so many girls that were just crying. Like, what did you do to your hair?
Oh well.
Yeah.
They'll get over it.
Talking about Great Clips, that's what I was gonna. I went there twice, and they cut me.
Oh.
They cut my ear one time really bad to where it was like gushing blood.
Oh.
It was really bad. Like I thought I had to have stitches on the ear. They cut me so bad.
Oh.
And then they still wanted to charge me for the haircut.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's not happening. And I don't know why I went back, but it was like probably 2-3 years later, and I went. It was a different one, but I still went back to this and they cut my hair again.
Jeez.
Not as bad, and then they still wanted to charge me. I go, this is the last time I'm coming here. You guys are terrible.
That's ridiculous. I remember after that haircut in middle school at Great Clips, my mom decided, she's like, nope, I'm not trusting anybody to cut your hair anymore. And so she literally buzzed my head ever since.
Nice.
I'm actually just going to give you a quick warning. I might lose you on Zoom. I'm losing battery on there.
Oh, that's fine. All right. If you could relive your life, would you? And if you would, what would you want to do differently?
Would like to relive my life. I wouldn't really change a whole lot. I like my life, like what I've done so far. I feel like there are some changes that I would like to make, but I mean, nothing major. Like I would like to start playing disc golf earlier, and I would like to get into comedy earlier because I feel like I don't know, I have such a strong passion for both of those. Obviously, maybe do the podcast a little earlier, but if I did any of those things earlier, would I be where I'm at now? You know, like I really like where I'm at, and no, I wouldn't want to change a whole lot, like because I like where I'm headed also, so I don't want to change any of that. Um, like I said, there are maybe some slight changes I would make like that, but nothing super critical because like for the most part, I'm pretty happy, which that's all I really want in life is to be happy. And so as long as I have my family, my friends, like my comedy, my disc golf, all my hobbies and stuff like that, like that's the only thing that really matters, I guess, to me.
Okay.
And I have most of that in my life. And obviously, like, there's definitely like, it'd be cool to be a millionaire so you don't have to worry about anything financially, but that also might help me now because I've learned lessons from not having money. So, I mean, there's that.
Right.
How about you?
No, I would not relive. It was hard enough to get here the first time.
Yeah. No, I definitely see the hard part. But you gotta like, there's been some good times that you would like to relive.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely. But it wouldn't. If I went back and relived my life, I wouldn't be like the butterfly effect. I wouldn't be where I'm at. I wouldn't have Gracie. So I mean,
Yep.
some things would change tremendously that I would not want to change. So I'm happy with what I have. There's plenty of things that I wish I wouldn't have done, or that I would have, or that I would have done.
Yeah.
Or invested in, or money wise, or bought, or you know. I wish I could go back and tell myself, be brave enough to pull the trigger here. Do it. Go get it. Go do this. Go do that. But no, I wouldn't want to relive my life. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at and what I got.
Yep. I like that answer.
The goods outweigh the bads.
Yeah.
And if I go back, it could be the complete different. The bads could outweigh the goods. Right now the scale's pretty a lot heavier in the one direction.
Yeah, for sure. My last question, I guess the last question of the episode. What's your favorite place to visit for a day? Like if you could take a day trip, where are you going?
In state or anywhere?
If it takes a day to get there, so you could take an airplane to get there, and then so it's basically you're going there and coming back within the day because it's a day trip.
Ooh, I know where I go. There was a waterfall about 2 miles from my old apartment when I was in college up in Ely.
Yeah.
We used to camp underneath that waterfall. I would go there. That'd be fun.
Good answer. I've never been there, but it sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool. We went there. we went there just to go see the waterfall, and then we started walking around on the rocks, and all of a sudden we found this little cavern, and we crawled down in there, and it was right directly behind the waterfall. And we go, we should come back. So me and the roommates, we snuck over there, and we threw the tent underneath the waterfall, and we camped out underneath there a couple of times. And
that's cool.
It was really cool. You know how awesome it was sleeping, hearing a waterfall all night?
That would be really nice.
It was really
as long as it wasn't like super, super loud.
Yeah. It wasn't, I mean, it was peaceful. It was, I mean, we were high enough up to where we weren't hearing the splashing. We were hearing the water.
That's what I would be worried about.
Yeah. We didn't hear the splashing of the water going into, down below. We just heard the water.
It was just the
falling.
rushing water.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's nice. Yeah, that would be super relaxing and peaceful.
It was not the most comfortable sleep because we were on rocks and I didn't have enough padding. Mm. But it was some of the most relaxing sleep I ever got. So it was bad sleep, but yet it was still really, like, if I had the right equipment, I think it would have been the best sleep of my life. But even with bad equipment, I slept really good.
That makes sense. Physically, your body didn't like it, but, you got good sleep mentally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see that.
So, what about you? Where would you go?
Well, just the easy answer is anything disc golf or comedy related. But I do that all the time, so I'm not gonna consider that a day trip. I don't do it as often as I'd like to, but when I was a kid, my grandma would always bring me and Donovan to the Mall of America.
Nice.
And it was the funnest day trip ever. Going on rides, playing games, doing some shopping, getting candy. It was amazing. It was my favorite time, and I still do it to this day every now and then. And I just like to walk around the Mall of America. I'll go visit Legoland. I'll go look at all the rides. I usually don't ride any just because of how expensive it is. But I will go on some rides every now and then. The log chute was my favorite ride. Still is. I love all of the stuff that they have now. You can do the flyover stuff. That ride is amazing. They used to have one that was a mine shaft, and you would go ride the mine shaft.
Yeah, that was my favorite ride.
I loved that ride so much. They have that ghost shooting game ride that was so fun. I've done that SpongeBob rope course. That's really fun. I love the Mall of America. And I just like the day trips there. And then the food is always good. You can go get anything you want, basically. There's a Benihana in the Mall of America. If you wanted to go there, you could. There's so many different places. You can get sushi. You can get. I just love everything about it. So
nice. I like it.
It just reminds me of childhood, and it was so much fun then too.
Nice. Well, I think that was a great 10 questions, man.
Yeah, well, 20 questions.
Well, yeah, 20.
Think about it.
Right.
20, 10 each.
So,
I think that was a fun episode. Going back to our original style was fun.
Yeah, it was a good time. I liked it. I enjoyed it a lot. And now we're gonna do something that we used to do in the very first couple episodes.
That.
We're gonna list off 10 comedians that kind of fit a topic that we wanted, and we did some.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we used to do lists of comedians,
yeah.
And so we're going to do another list of comedians tonight. What's our list include this night?
High energy, somebody that's pretty active on stage.
A physical comedian.
Or one of the physicaler, because they're not. All comedians aren't real super physical, but physicaler.
Yeah. I like that. I like that physicaler word that you used.
More physical? I guess you'd say, is the correct English. It's the stupidest podcast, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning, so.
It's getting there, so.
All right. Do you want to go every other? Do you want to go every other, or how do you want to do this?
I was going to ask you the same thing. I think we used to do every other.
Let's do every other, because I know we got some of the same names. So if we already said one, just skip it.
Sweet.
All right. I'll go first. Robin Williams.
Okay. Rowan Atkinson.
Who? Say that again?
Rowan Atkinson.
Nice. Carrot Top.
Jim Carrey.
Ooh, nice. Sebastian Maniscalco.
And him and Robin Williams. Dimitri Martin.
My boy Bert Kreischer.
Nice. Steve Martin.
Nice. Did you say you said Jim Carrey, right? No?
Yes.
Okay. Sam Kinison.
That's a good one. Zach Galifianakis.
Nice. Cedric the Entertainer.
Yep. Ellen DeGeneres.
Red Fox.
That's a good one too. Brian Regan. Mostly with his faces, but I'm going to count that.
Nice. Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman's a really good one. Charlie Chaplin.
That's a good one. Godfrey.
Gilbert?
Huh? No, Godfrey, the black comedian. He does a lot of voices and shit.
Oh, yeah, yep. I know who you're talking about. The Three Stooges.
Nice. I'm out. That's all I got.
Two. That was my last one.
Nice.
And I know we didn't do this in the original episodes, but we still do our dedication.
It's that time of the night, huh?
Yep, we've been doing dedications for a while, so we're going to go to that time of night. Even though we didn't have that time of night back then, we're going to do it tonight.
Dedication time, baby.
Dedication time. Who are you dedicating to tonight?
We're doing it to one of my all-time childhood favorites, Chris Farley.
I just want to take a second for anybody that we're doing physical comedians.
Yeah.
So if you can try to guess who we're dedicating this episode to, just take a second, pause if you need to, and try to guess a physical comedian that we have not listed yet so far on our list.
I almost said it. It probably heard me say it.
Okay, well, if you
didn't hear it,
say it again.
Chris Farley.
Chris Farley. Of course we're dedicating to Chris Farley when we're talking about physical comedians.
Tommy Boy is one of my favorite movies. Do I have a mark?
Yep.
Not so much here or here, but right here. No, not a thing, Tommy.
Yeah.
Oh, sir, mister, what happened to your face? Oh, I told you. I love when he's got the cars. Daddy, I gotta go to the bathroom. The guy trolls up in the ambulance. He's like, "Oh my god!" I love it. That's one of my favorites.
He puts so much like commitment into his physical comedy too. It was
his SNL was great too. I live in a van down by the river. He's one of my faves.
Yeah, you can't beat him.
You get a donut, and it gets lodged right here.
When he destroyed that car door, and he was trying to get the car door back, and then David Spade comes in, opens the door.
You didn't fill up.
What'd you do?
You didn't fill up. All out of gas. Got to go to the next one. What'd you do?
Yeah.
I love when they get in their fight outside of the car. Oh, prehistoric village.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
They got a mini fridge. You could put like a candy bar, a 6-pack of soda. Yes, anything you want to keep cold, Tommy.
Yep.
Or when Richard comes up and he's got the fan going. Lilo la lo li. Working hard there, Tommy, huh? Shut up, Richard. That's one of my, like I said, that and Black Sheep, that's one of my favorite movies, man.
Yeah, those are both really good.
When they're on the sailboat and the girl freaks out.
Yeah.
I know where you live and I know where you sleep. That was awesome. I could recite the whole movie.
I know. I was letting you.
There's so many good parts.
Nope.
Go and count it. Wait till Christmas. We're going to do all kinds of dumb things. He's spraying him down with those. I'm a maniac. Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, and I don't even think we have to say, if you don't know his stuff, go look him up.
Go look him up.
If you don't know him,
if you've never seen Tommy Boy, you are missing out. Like, your life will get better after today.
How are you listening to our podcast but not know who Chris Farley is?
Yeah, go check him out. Guy that died too young.
Yeah. This is going to be a fun deep dive.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to see if I can
we'll get you on
snag this one from you.
No, you're not. You're definitely not snagging it from me, but you can join.
Yeah, I might join you.
So, all right, man. I think it was a great episode.
Very great episode. There was it brought me back to doing the first episodes, like only having the questions, not doing the segments. It was a fun way to reconnect again. Like, obviously, like
it brought back some good memories.
But it brought back some good memories as well.
Yeah.
Memories like from childhood, memories from doing the podcast. Like, it was just a very good feeling. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, tonight was great. Yeah, I loved it. This episode was fun. Great.
Especially, we talked a little bit about what's going to be coming up, too. Mm-hmm. I'm excited for the future, too.
Yep. Great anniversary episode.
I hope you guys enjoyed our anniversary episode, 2-year anniversary episode.
Yeah. Go check us out. Go like us, share, comment on everything we share. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit now. We have Snapchat. Go at us at The Stupidest Pod on Snapchat. Go subscribe to the Patreon now, guys. We're on there now. It's $5. You're going to get at least 2 extra episodes. I mean, you're going to get the deep dive and then one extra one. At least one extra one with me and Roddy, or just me or just Roddy, but you're going to get an extra episode. And eventually, somewhere down the line, I'm sure we're going to do some live chats and stuff like that. But $5 a month.
A lot of unique shows that I'm excited to do some unique stuff. Like, even if it's just like you and I, like you said, like just you or just me. But we could also just do you and a guest, or me and a guest, or we could do some sort of a comedy show or game show, or there's a lot that we could be doing on these special episodes.
Yep. And you guys you're not going to want to miss out on that stuff, man. That's where we're going to have a lot of fun, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Not that this isn't fun, but we're going to even have more fun.
Yeah, this is still fun, but there's more fun to be had.
Right. So, yeah, go check us out there. But you can always, always, always go check us out at www.thestupidestpodcast.com. And then if you guys have any questions, maybe you want to be on the show, send us an email. Talk to us. You can send us an email at thestupidestpodcast@gmail.com. There we go. I think we hit everything.
I think we're good. Yeah, just keep following us, keep liking our stuff, and I guess until next time.
Oh, with the giveaways.
We have. Yep.
We've got giveaways now with our new segment. I did post the picture and stuff like that, so pay attention for that picture, the clip art, the thumbnail of that episode for the giveaways. You share and comment, you can get in twice. Your name will be put in for the drawing, and we'll be giving away something that month. So,
have you already done this, or are you going to be doing this?
The answer should be yes. Should always be yes.
Always be yes. So if you see a thumbnail of any episode, that's the post that you need to be commenting and sharing.
The thumbnail of the one, and I'll put on there. This is the contest thumbnail,
and that's how you're going to win a $25 gift card to whichever place we decide to get that for you.
So, share, comment, tell us what's up, say hi. All right. Well,
win yourself some free stuff.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think this was a great episode, and we'll talk to you next time.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.